Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Let me just say, Ms. Yates, thank you for your appearance today. Thank you for your patience with us, including myself, because I am likely to repeat some of the questions that you may have already answered. But let me say at the very outset, when you appeared before this committee in May of 2017, I said, among other things, quote, whether we agree or disagree with you, I hope there are young prosecutors and young members of our Intelligence Committee who will watch this hearing and say, that's the kind of professional I want to be, not just expert, but a person of deep conviction and conscience. And I repeat that today because it is something I feel as deeply now as I did then about you, Ms. Yates, and I appreciate your service to our country and your being here to go through some of these questions which have been repetitive and even, with all due respect, unnecessarily antagonistic. And I want to come back to one of the fundamental issues here. When the recommendation was made by a number of the FBI agents to close the investigation on January 4th, so far as you know, were those agents aware of the conversation between Michael Flynn and Ambassador Kislyak?
And Senator, I think you're referring to the specific counterintelligence investigation of Michael Flynn. My understanding is no, they did not know about those conversations.
They did not know about that.
I don't think this is really a red herring here, because this interview, I wasn't even aware that there was a specific counterintelligence investigation opened up on General Flynn at that point. You didn't need that to go interview General Flynn. The circumstances here called out for an interview in the context of the broader investigation.
And in fact, you've just answered what was going to be my next question. The continuing investigation into Michael Flynn was legitimate, correct, when he was questioned by the FBI himself?
Yes.
And his lies to the FBI were material, correct?
And they certainly were.
Now, the President, or I should say the Department of Justice, has moved to dismiss the case against Michael Flynn on the basis that his false statements to the FBI were not material or the investigation was not legitimate, but I think that is clearly and powerfully contradicted by the evidence that you've given us today. Let me say, Mr. Chairman, and I know others of our colleagues have made reference to it, but over the past few days, we've received classified briefings about the continuing, absolutely shocking and startling threat from malign foreign interference in our election that is potentially ongoing. And these briefings, I think, emphasize to us our responsibility to focus on the present and the future in terms of that threat. And I hope that this investigation or these series of hearings will in no way distract us or deflect the nation's attention from that continuing foreign threat to our election security. It's absolutely chilling based on the facts we've received in a classified setting. I believe the American people need and deserve to know them. I think these facts should be declassified immediately. We have a responsibility to address them in this committee and elsewhere, and I hope that the time and attention and energy that these hearings are taking will in no way distract us from that ongoing task. And it's a challenge that is central to our responsibility. It's not just peripheral or convenient. It is central and essential. Ms. Yates, I want to give you finally an opportunity to clarify a part of your testimony relating to George Papadopoulos, I think you were referring to emails that Russia planned to release involving contacts with him. Just to clarify, were you suggesting that Papadopoulos was a Russian or a foreign agent?
Oh, no, I was not. I was, what I was suggesting is that he had gotten that information from someone who was associated with the Russians, not that he is a Russian agent.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Senator Blumenthal, for clearing that up for Mr. Papadopoulos' sake.